Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, the score was 105-104. The Lakers got the victory in a barn burner. Came down to the last second, and Braun was able to hit one of two free throws to seal the deal. I am mentally exhausted after watching that basketball game. First of all, the third quarter lasted about an hour. It was just one of those games where the whistle was going our way, and it was going in our way in such a way that slowed the game down quite a bit. The free throw differential is what people are going to point out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of Rockets fans who are not going to like what they see there. We shot like 29 free throws, and they shot like 9 or something like that. So yeah, that's the first thing. A lot of whistles definitely frustrated me, but they were coming my way, so I couldn't complain. It just slowed the game down to an absolute halt, though. Lots of stoppage. Second of all, I don't know how else we could have won this game, because when you look at what was going on down there, my team shot 20% from the three. A good portion of the time we were below that. And then when you look at some of the shooting that we had on our team, it was scary how bad some of them dudes were shooting. It was absolutely scary. 1 for 11 for Torian Prince, 1 for 9 for D'Lo Russell, 0 for 4 from Christian Wood. Like, it was bad. And the 3-point shooting was even worse in some cases. But ultimately, LeBron James with 37, 3 steals there. I think it was about 3 or 4 players with 3 steals on our team. Cam Reddish, he also had steals. D'Lo Russell, I believe, had a couple steals as well. So we had a lot of steals there. Austin Reeves hit some big shots, even though he missed a clutch free throw. But, we don't remember that because he hit 2 like 40-foot threes, one of them in the clutch. So he definitely is back. Him is back. Anthony Davis was fantastic, even though he fouled out early. Alperen Sengun was flopping all over the place, so it wasn't no way AD was going to stay on the floor dealing with that nonsense. But AD was fantastic. I think he was like 14 of 17 or something like that. I don't remember what the stats was, but he scored quite a bit. I mean, his efficiency was really, really on point tonight with that jump hook shot. And, we did some good things in transition. 18 turnovers for both teams, but we had 20. We were able to score 24 points off of their turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. They had 18. I think that's how that went. But, it was just one of those games where it's like, a lot of things could have settled us into a loss tonight, just like the last game against Portland. We could have very easily lost this one, but we were able to get to the line quite a bit. And I'm so glad this thing didn't go into overtime, man. I was really, really, really hopeful it wouldn't, and I'm glad it did not. LeBron James was just energetic, man, all night long. 37 points. I believe he had like 8 assists. I don't remember the stats. The stats are not sticking with me tonight, but I could tell you that's only because I am exhausted from watching that. It was just a lot of nail biting. The first half was a bit frustrating for me because I thought our defense wasn't really showing up. It picked up some in the second half, but because we got in foul trouble, we were exposed down there. Braun was having to guard Alperen Sengun in the paint, and Alpi was able to get that jump hook over him in the clutch. And it's just one of those things where it tells, it's basically what we talked about in the pregame show. We really, really, really need a center down there who can guard that. Because at the end of the day, AD was off the floor, and even if he was, I don't know if he stops that. So, got to give credit to Alperen Sengun. He definitely had a double-double tonight with, I think, 5 assists on top of that. He was terrific. What else? We had Fred VanVleet. I think he had like 16 points, 14 assists. He was really pushing the ball around. Dylan Brooks, I believe, had like 24 points, shot the 3 ball extremely well. He was really roping off threes in the fourth quarter quite a bit. And his energy was infectious for his basketball team. But I tell you, man, they just couldn't stop us from getting to the line. That's what it really came down to. And I'm just curious to see what people are going to say. Because when you look at that box score, you're like, how the hell did the Lakers win this game? They shot poor from behind the arc. I think we shot like 75% from the free throw line, but we shot so many it just made up the difference. And the stars were the ones who showed up. Our role players showed up on defense, but offensively we were just god awful, man. When I say awful, Torian Prince, my goodness, man. This morning when I was going off on Torian Prince for like 20 minutes, I really think I made it worse. I don't know if he watched my video or what, but I just felt like his confidence was in the toilet in this game, man. and it showed. The only shot he made was like some off-balance bank shot that probably could have easily went off too. His 3-point shooting was just horrific. Everything he was doing was bad. Defensively, he was getting cooked and fouling unnecessarily, turning the ball over. It was a nightmare, man. It was a literal nightmare. And then D'Lo was not better at all. 1 for 8 from behind the arc, or 1 for 8. Period. I think that's how that went. Just a real cold night for D'Lo. He did not have it, but like I said, he did get a couple steals, so he made up for it. But the return of Austin Reeves, man, I don't remember. I think it was maybe 15 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. But 2 of them threes was for like 40, 45 feet. I mean, he shot the thing from the Laker S in the like dang near half court, man, and hit both of those shots. I don't know what Dylan Brooks was thinking playing off of him. He had already hit one of them, but Bron found him when Dylan Brooks came to double, and he just roped that thing off. It was beautiful. And then he proceeded to miss 1 out of 2 free throws that could have iced the game for us. Luckily enough, Bron was able to hit one of his 2 free throws. And it's just like, yo, if we could have lost that game about 9 or 10 different ways, and Anthony Davis ended up fouling out before regulation, so we would have had some trouble in overtime the way that everything was going. So I'm just fortunate we won this game. Like I said, this game wore me out, man. Sitting there watching this, I'm like, God, this game started at 6:30, and it seemed like we were just sitting here all night waiting for these referees to stoppage, basically. Just let the game go, man. But I tell you the truth, if they would have, we would not have won. That's the God's honest truth, man. If they wouldn't have called every single one of those whistles, we don't win this game, because we only won by 1. And so that's what it really comes down to. You just got to take the good with the bad, because it wasn't fun to watch, but there was no other way we were going to win, man. As bad as we were shooting out there, I mean, it's funny how well we shot the ball against the Memphis Grizzlies from behind the arc. We set our team record, did such a fantastic job scoring the ball there. And then we get back to our shooting ways right now, 20% on the night, man. Most of which came from like 3 people, man. It wasn't too many people shooting poorly. I mean, it wasn't too many people shooting threes, but Christian Wood, and of course D'Lo and Torian, they just really had off nights, to say the least. But Bron and AD showed up big time, man. Our superstars were just that. They were awesome. Bron came through when AD went down with the 6th foul, and just carried us home, man. Hit big shot after big shot. I mean, his energy was all over the place. He hit Dylan Brooks with the too small. He was just demonstrative all over the floor. He was smoking fake marijuana on when he had missed a layup with his left hand. I don't know what that was about, but he was all over the place, man. His son was in the house, and the energy was really, really there. And I gotta say, Don Cheadle represented, I think, all of Laker Nation when we missed that. I don't know which play it was. I think Austin had missed a free throw, and Don Cheadle was like, no. I don't know if that was what he was reacting to or not, but he took his hat and put it over his face. I was like, that's exactly how this game has me feeling, man. I mean, I've been feeling like that's the tip of this basketball game. It just seemed like we were fighting our butts off. As I told you guys in the halftime video, we went up by 7 early in that game, and then they went on a 24-4 run to run it up to 11. I'm like, what just happened? And then we found ourselves fighting in that first half, cut it all the way to 1, and then they ran it up to 7 again. It was like, yo, what is happening? But in that second half, we were able to fight a little harder, withstand all of that horrible Torian shooting and D'Lo shooting and Wood shooting. I mean, it was, God, 0 for Gophers. It was bad. But nevertheless, Bron and AD just weren't letting us lose, man. They were shooting. They were on fire. Both of them shot over what? I didn't look at the percentage on that, but they both had to have shot over 65% from the field. Both of them. And so when your superstars show up like this, and I said it in the pregame video, and I said it in my Lakers chat video, Bron is needed to play. If we were going to beat this team, he most definitely needed to play, because if he wouldn't have been out there, this is a 10-point loss or more. Even with AD playing the way he was, you just weren't going to be able to overcome them. They're too good of a team. They play good defense. And, Apri Sengun is a very talented center, man. This dude was really in the paint, rebounding, scoring, hitting that left hook, left and right. And we were just having really very little success stopping him. I like what I saw from Rui Hachimura. He also chipped in very well, and you got to give Cam Reddish credit. The boy is a thief. He hasn't had anything less than 3 steals in just about every game he's played in since that Heat miss. And I think he probably had like 3 steals in that game too. He's leading the league in steals today, ladies and gentlemen. Cam Reddish is your league leader in steals. So that needs to be understood. He's a unsung hero of this season so far. And I'm learning to trust him more and more, especially on the defensive end. He's fantastic. Now, offensively, his 3-ball did not fall very much. I think he only hit like one of them. He maybe was been like 1 for 5 or 1 for 4. Part of the problem in that regard. But boy, was he coming up with the basketball, man. Steals after steals, rebounds, key plays. Definitely noteworthy. Definitely part of the solution in regards to us winning. But I don't think we could do this without Austin Reeves, even though we had AD and Bron just playing exactly the way we need them to play. AR-15 was really one of the heroes as well, just hitting them big shots, especially that 3-point shot down the stretch off of the Dillon Brooks double. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Leaving Austin out there, he'd already hit one of them. But, you know, I got to say, man, we definitely appreciate how this game turned out. To be a Rockets fan, I don't think you guys are too happy with the officials tonight. And to be honest with you, I wasn't too happy with the officials tonight. It's too much stoppage, man. It was hard to watch at one point. But as long as the whistles are coming my way, I'll take it, man. But to be on the other side of it should, in theory, have been rough. And even on our side, I thought there were some calls they should have called. And some flops that maybe they should have penalized teams for. It was flopping going on out there. But all in all, I'm just happy we were the winner, man. At the end of the day, the Lakers get the victory. We're on a 2-game winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because we dropped that Sacramento game, and then we beat Portland, and we now have beat the Rockets to tie the season series. I think we only played them 3 times. I did mention that if we lost this game, we would lose the season series, but I'm not sure about that. But we definitely at least tied up the season series at this point. Feeling great about that. Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore didn't play. All that talking I was talking about in regards to those guys getting the shot. Amen still sat, and they did not check in. Cam, because Terry Eason ultimately played, and they went with Jeff Green, who played very well tonight, and of course Dillon Brooks, who was one of the stars for their team. Jalen Green didn't really have a good night tonight, not for his standards. He did rope off of a few shots, particularly a 3-point shot that stands out, but he really didn't have that kind of night tonight. It was mostly Fred VanVleet, Sengun, and Dillon Brooks for their team tonight. That's what I saw there. But they shot better from behind the arc than we did. 46%, I think, from both. Somewhere in the 40% range, 45% range rather. I think the fast break points were like 58 for us, 48 for them, or something like that. So we definitely appreciate that. And we rebound the ball well. That's where we can say we really controlled our destiny. We only gave up about 5 offensive rebounds, for which I've been paying very close attention to. So I was pleased with how we rebounded the ball overall. AD and Bron had a lot to do with that. And so that's really where it is, man. I'm like, wow. I'm so glad to have won that game. It could have went a lot of different ways, man. A lot of times we do lose games like that, and we find ourselves extremely frustrated. Of course, the conversation would have been totally different if we did not win, because of just how bad some of those shooting performances truly were. I mean, God, man, Taurean Prince, my guy. I genuinely felt, I don't know how many people watch my video. I don't know who sends videos to whom. A lot of people are tapped into the Lakers. I've been doing this for several years. But a part of me really thought it was my fault, man. I thought Taurean Prince probably got a hold of my videos, seen 1 or 2 of my videos where I'm just calling for him to not be playing, and it just killed his confidence. Because he was horrible tonight. Like really, really horrible. And so I just don't feel the same way as I did last year when I used to bash the hell out of players. It's just a different vibe for me, I guess, because of how my life has gone since. I don't feel that way no more. And I can tell you, man, at the end of the day, these guys are pros. They're good at what they do. Taurean Prince is not a scrub. He's just not a overly talented basketball player in this league. And because of it, it can be a rough go for him when he's playing poorly. And that's exactly what we saw tonight. an especially rough night for him. And I think he dodged a massive bullet because we did win the game. So a lot of whom would be calling for him to be traded or what have you probably won't have as much to say because they'll be so relieved that we won. But I'm going to be the one to tell you that I will not be upset when he's moved. I will not be upset. And it's not just because of this performance. It's just overall, I just don't think too much of the player, man. Probably a great guy, but I don't think too much of the player, man. I never have. I'm not a Taurean Prince guy, and so when I watch him out there for my team to stink it up like he did tonight, it just further brings home my opinion that we are much better with him not starting, and probably best with him probably somewhere else. So I think that's probably what a lot of people are gonna feel after watching that. And D'Lo is so inconsistent, man. It's hard to really tell who is going to show up from night to night. D'Lo we saw for the last 3 games is pretty good. D'Lo tonight was horrible, man. He just wasn't very good at all. So it's hard to tell with him. You just don't know what the heck you're going to get from the guy. And Christian Wood, with him being so talented, man, offensively, you just really don't understand how he has such poor games against his old team. Last time he only attempted 1 shot. Tonight he was 0 for 4 from behind the arc. I really don't know what to think of him either. He's just not very consistent, man. And his defense, he makes a lot of mistakes. So it's like, I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough. I just feel like this game is one of those games where you're not going to remember exactly how bad certain things went. But I will. Put it like that. I will. I know that if the refs didn't whistle all of what they whistled, we don't win. And so this is the second game in a row where I felt like the Lakers likely would have lost to most teams, but we're finding ways to win these games, and that's what the story of the season is. We started the season off playing horribly, worst first quarter team in the history of the sport through 5-6 games. Tonight we did not do much better than that at all, given the fact that we had that 24-4 run given up, but we're still finding ways of winning games. We're still finding ourselves well above 500 at this point. And we got a tournament game against Utah Jazz, who had a triple overtime game tonight against Phoenix, where they lost. So I know they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. Not sure if they play another game between now and then. But triple overtime, man. That's craziness in and of itself. But, this is one of those situations where you just hope that we can play better against them than we did against the Rockets and the Blazers, because I just don't think you can win many basketball games like this, man. The way that we've been turning the ball over these last 2 games, the way the 3-ball didn't fall, the shooting performances are just horrific, and you just love the efficiency from 3 guys, basically. It's Austin Reeves, Bron, and AD. They were super efficient, and everybody else essentially was cold. Like Frosty the Snowman cold, man. So that's kind of what we were tossing out there, man. I don't feel like I should be sitting up here dancing and celebrating like that. I'm very pleased we won this game. It was one of those games where I think a lot of analysts are going to be like, whoa, that was awesome, LeBron. And they're going to talk about how great Bron was, which is due with 37 points. And a bunch of other stuff to go along with it. He was really, really efficient. Fantastic masterclass from LeBron. Even though he missed that clutch free throw, he's not a good free throw shooter, so I'm not gonna kill him for that. And AD was so very efficient tonight. We asked for AD to score. This is why we expect so much from him, because he can have nights like this where he barely misses anything. And so I thought he was amazing, both on the defense and offensive side. Just a fantastic game for AD. And I was low-key kind of happy he got fouled out, because it just buys him a little more rest. And we got the win, so it worked out. But I wasn't upset to see him sit. But he had an amazing night scoring the ball. And if he didn't, if them dudes did not, we got blown out. Like, there's just no way around it, man. There's just no way around it. So kudos to everybody who contributed to this basketball game. Big shout out to Cam Reddish for just continuing to steal the ball, man. I'm definitely a fan of Cam right now, and I just hope he continues to play as confident as he is, because He's been great, specifically stealing the ball, obviously. And AR-15, man, I'm very glad AR-15 had a big night tonight with that clutch three-point shot that was huge for his confidence. He had just missed some clutch shots against Sacramento, so we were kind of getting on him about where the clutch gene is, where did it go, and he found it tonight. So I don't doubt that he's gonna, have some a big boost. He's gonna sleep better in his bed tonight for sure after hitting those shots and playing as well as he did efficiently from behind the arc on a night where the whole team was basically cold from behind the arc. So, we love winning, man. That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, you can play great and still lose. You can play bad and win. And I think when you remove these all-stars from the team, we got blown out by like 70. Like, this is a historically bad game if AD and Bron don't play. And this is exactly why I made a video with the intent of specifically saying to Bron, we need you to play, because we clearly see having 1-by-1 and having just about everything go wrong, if not for you and AD, we lose bad. And so never have I felt more vindicated in the things that I've talked about than listening to the pregame video and then proceeding to watch this matchup. I killed Taurean Prince. He played awful. I told Bron and AD they must play or we were going to get beaten. We won by 1. They both played great. Everybody else played terrible. I can't feel more vindicated as an analyst than I did in watching that after speaking this way. Thank God those athletes didn't play. I'm glad Ime Udoka wants to play his vets and doesn't want to play Cam, doesn't want, Amen Thompson still recovering. I'm glad that's going on. I'm glad Terry Eason played tonight. All of that, I think, makes the Rockets a little bit worse, because if they do develop Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson into what they're supposed to be, they don't lose tonight, man. They just don't. And so these are things I understand, even though everybody else can be like, no, you got to wait on the rookies. No, you don't. No, you don't. Cam Whitmore needs to be out there. He probably should have played 35 minutes tonight. But that's just me. I'm happy it didn't happen. And so that's pretty much where I stand on this game, man. I just understand that you want to be on this side of it. When the night goes like this, when the free throw differential is like this, you want to be on this side. And it ain't going to be me complaining. I'm going to let somebody else do that. No. If it goes the other way, I'll have a lot to say. But since it's coming my way, I'm going to chill, man. As many times as we've had issues with the officials, I'm going to chill. That's how I feel about it. But I won't be the guy that didn't mention it. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. But they were fouling. It wasn't like they weren't fouling, Contact came our way left and right. We were driving. We were aggressive. We got to the line. And that's what it is. I think the fact that people are going to look at those free throws and look at everything else that went on and say that's the only way they won, I'm going to tell you that too. I'm going to tell you that too. Now, whether or not they're going to agree that the call should have came our way or not, that's up to them. But for me, I felt like we were getting hit, slapped, and we were driving. I really do believe that. So, yeah, man, I just didn't enjoy watching it. That's what it really came down to. It was just a lot of stoppage that just didn't make for a good, particularly third quarter, man. That was hard to watch. So that's it, man. Lakers win. I ain't upset. I'm just tired, bro. When you play like that and the game goes this way, it's mentally exhausting. You watch a long game and it come down to the wire. Guys is shooting poorly. Guys is doing this and that. Great players getting kicked out of the game because people want to flop. That's another thing. Alperen Sengun flopping off of AD. Look, man, his leg was sliding. That 6th foul should not have been called, fam. Absolutely not. That was not the call right there. That was a blocking foul if I ever seen one. And the play where AD hit him on the face, I can't argue with that, but you can't tell me Alperen didn't embellish that so bad, man. He really, really sold that in a very unnecessary way. So it is what it is, man. And then on the other end, they didn't give Bron the flagrant when he embellished on the foul. Granted, LeBron's acting wasn't very good on the Dylan Brooks play that I'm referring to, where Dylan Brooks came down on Bron with his forearm and Bron was trying to lay the ball up. Bron did a little extra on the ground. I think that kind of threw it away. That kind of gave it away, but I could very easily see where in most nights, most situations, they probably call a flagrant on Dylan for that. But it was an embellishment. I'm not gonna argue with that either. So there's a lot of flopping going on out there, man. These teams got to get it together in regards to flopping. I thought they were gonna fine people for flopping, but they're not very, very consistent with that. So that's noteworthy to me. But yeah, man, Lakers win, man. We just want to get victories. We just want to pile up as many W's as possible and get ourselves away from that play-in tournament range. We want out of that. I haven't looked at it, so know where we at in terms of that. And since it's so early in the season, it doesn't really matter. But the more victories we get, the better start we have, the better cushion we have in case things go wrong. And given the fact that we've had so many injuries already, we just want to get through this unscathed and with a lot of wins. So this is one of them wins where you like, yo, it makes up for the loss of Miami, the Orlando loss, the other Rockets loss. This is one of those games where you probably should have lost and won, and we're happy that we did. So that's pretty much what I gotta say, man. Forgive me for not having the stats in my mind, but it just ain't that kind of night for you, boy. But I definitely am happy that my team got the victory in a very, very close and lopsided free throw game. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.